Holly.
Hi.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about you being profoundly deaf. What does profoundly deaf mean?
Means I cannot hear anything without my cochlear implants. I have cochlear implants on both sides, so I can't hear in my right ear or my left ear. So without these, I can't hear a jet taking off next to me.
Okay.
Which is
So Holly, how do you know Taylor?
I know Taylor from elementary school. I went to Linfield Christian Elementary School for kindergarten through second grade, and then I ended up going to Crown Hill for the rest of my elementary schools. But that's how I know Taylor from.
And what other activities are you in with Taylor?
I'm also in National Charity League with her, which is a mother-daughter organization that we do together. We meet once a month, basically. So I know Taylor.
And where do you go to high school?
I go to high school at Great Oak,
And what city is that in?
Temecula.
So my next question is, at what age did your parents find out that you were profoundly, completely deaf?
I think they found out right before I was 1, and I got my first cochlear implant, I believe, on my left side when I was 17 months, I believe, and then my second one when I was 35 months.
So right before you turned 3 years
Mhm.
old, and you were done with speech therapy by the time you got to kindergarten.
Yep.
You were done with all of your therapy.
Yep. We were doing intense therapy until kindergarten, and now I think I talk pretty well.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question about school. How do you do in school?
I think I do pretty well. I get all A's, which is 4.0. I haven't really ever struggled in school, I would say. But when I was younger, people would tell my parents that I might suffer a lack of language, I guess, because I didn't hear a sound until I was 17 months. And so they said that you would have to play a little bit of catch up with language. But yeah, I have never really struggled with school.
So Holly, tell me, what do you do with some of your extracurricular activities?
Well, I do a lot of things, but the main one is definitely soccer. I actually do a lot of stuff in the deaf community for soccer. I play on the U.S. Deaf Women's National Soccer Team. I've been doing that for 3 years now, and I absolutely love it. There's a spectrum from.
So as soccer is one of your passions, tell me a little bit more.
So I play on a high-level soccer team for the U.S. Development Academy. It's called SoCal Blues. I absolutely love my team. They're all hearing, so it's kind of interesting being the only deaf one on the team. But I absolutely love my team. We're doing really well in our conference. I'm really happy about that. Another thing is I've been invited to be a part of the U.S. Girls National Team Camp for my age, which is a really big honor, and I'm so blessed that I was able to experience that. And I'm still in the pool for that, and I'm committed to University of Colorado Boulder in the Pac-12. Go Buffs! I love the school. I'm super excited to play there in college.
So my next question is, you play soccer at the highest level in the U.S., but there's another aspect that you play soccer for. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I play for the U.S. Deaf Women's National Team for the U.S., which is crazy. The first time I was there and I went to camp, I was 13. I'm 16 now, but I was 13, and there's a variety of ages as well as a variety of hearing.
So tell me that you were recruited and you were actually the youngest ever right?
I think so.
Okay, and how old are the girls from on the team?
So as of right now, I believe the youngest is 15, and then the oldest is 40.
So my next question is on the U.S. Deaf Women's National Team. What is the different hearing losses that are represented?
So there's people like me who can't hear anything but wear cochlear implants. There's people that don't hear anything and don't wear cochlear implants, so they just sign. And then there's people who
And what do they're nonverbal?
they're nonverbal. So I have to find out a way to communicate with them because I don't sign. I've been learning it as I've been going to each camp. I've learned a little bit more, trying to be more fluent with it. But yeah, it's really exciting learning different signs and communicating with them. And then there's also people that have hearing aids. So they're not quite as deaf as I am, but they're still deaf, obviously.
So tell me, when you get out on the soccer field, what are the rules?
So everyone has to take their devices off if they wear them. So
All countries.
all countries. When I first did it, I was a little surprised. I did not know that we had to take our devices off because me playing in an all-hearing environment for my soccer, for my U.S. Development Academy soccer team, we all have hearing, and it's a way different environment when I go to the U.S. Deaf Women's National Team. So we take our devices off. No one speaks. It's like silent on the soccer field. So I ended up doing jumping jacks. I found that was an effective way to get someone's attention when they were dribbling with the ball. It gives you like that sixth sense of like awareness, and yeah, it's really different from what I'm used to. But
My next question is, do you feel like your cochlear implants have improved or worsened your safety?
I think that they have definitely improved my safety, just from the little things like crossing the street. Some deaf people can't hear a car honking at them to get out of the way. I wouldn't be able to hear that if I didn't have my cochlear implants. So I think just little things like that improved my safety.
Do you feel like your cochlear implants have improved or worsened your opportunities?
I think it's definitely improved my opportunities because without my cochlear implants, I wouldn't meet all the people that I met today. Like my coaches, my friends, my teachers, they're all hearing, and so not all of them know how to sign. And if I didn't have cochlear implants, I'd definitely be an all-signing girl. So I think it's definitely improved my opportunities in life.
Right. And you would also be nonverbal.
Yes, I would be all-signing.
All signing nonverbal.
Nonverbal.
Do you feel like your cochlear implants have improved or worsened your communication?
Definitely improved, because before this I did not know one single deaf person until I met all my amazing teammates on the deaf national team. So I think communication would be a lot harder if I didn't have my cochlear implants, because they've given me so many opportunities to speak with so many different people. Yeah, so it's definitely improved.
And some of the opportunities you've done after your U.S. Deaf Women's National Team, you've done interviews with some of the newscasters. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I did an interview. I did a U.S. soccer interview. If you want to look me up, just look up Holly Hunter Soccer, and you can find it there. But I've done a few interviews with U.S. Soccer, and they just talked about how life is being a deaf person in both communities, in the hearing community as well as the deaf community.
So next question, what is your standpoint on the controversy in the deaf community about cochlear implants?
my mom telling me, I've heard that it's a very divided community from my experience. So my only experience with the deaf community is from my U.S. Deaf Women's National Team, but they've all been really accepting of my cochlear implants and how I don't sign. They're trying to teach me how to sign, which I really appreciate that. However, I feel like a lot of people should be given the opportunity to hear because it is mostly a hearing world. So I think they should be given the opportunity to hear first. And if you don't want to hear and you feel that God made me who I am and I should just stick with that, I think that's fine. It's your decision. But I think you should be given the opportunity to hear. I'm really glad that my parents chose to give me hearing.
So I'm Holly's mom, behind the scenes, behind the camera.
She doesn't want to be
And
on camera.
also, a few years back when Holly was little, I sat on the state standards for the state of California as they were doing the state standards for the deaf community. And it was at the Riverside School of Deaf, and superintendents came from all over the not United States, out of California. And it was really interesting because I walked in and it was a 2-day conference. The first day I walked in as a parent and I said, I've got this girl, Holly, and she is a superstar and she's reading at a 4th grade level and she was in 2nd grade and that my daughter didn't sign, but she had great speech. She didn't even have speech therapy since kindergarten, and it, huge success. And you should have seen how many red beating eyes and how many teachers were upset with me because I didn't give her the opportunity to sign. And it wasn't that I didn't give her the opportunity to sign, it was that we were going to try this cochlear implant thing first and see if it worked and maybe she could be a hearing, talking child. And if it didn't work, of course we would learn how to sign with her. That was not even an option. Of course we would.
Yeah.
So, but it worked out that the cochlear implant was a success. And as you can see, she's got great speech. Also, so the second day I went back for the convention and I had numerous superintendents come up and speak to me. I really wanted to bring Holly in and show 100 superintendents represented for California what was possible and just to give the opportunity if the parent was to choose that for their child. I think all options should be presented to all families. And at the time when Holly was a baby, they really weren't doing that. And she was kind of like a guinea pig for these new cochlear implants. So she was one of the first in Riverside County and definitely one of the first to get bilateral, 2 of them in Southern California. So I thought that it might be interesting for actually you to show off your cochlear implants.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take a little peek.
Okay.
Oops. Okay, so do you want to show them on your head?
Here we go.
Okay, so this is the magnet and it sticks to her head. You can see, it goes right back on. And these kind of look like hearing aids, but they're actually computers that connect through her skull. And she has a computer chip that's underneath the skin. You want to put that back on?
Yep. Here, I'll just take it off and show
Oh,
them.
okay, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Oops. Here we go.
So that's what they look like.
This is a microphone. That's also a microphone. This is my headpiece. It sticks to my head. This is the battery. I can take it off. I charge it at night. Yeah, and these go in a little water sucking machine. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that's my hearing, and it just sticks right back on my ear,
And then
and then you
the
put it
magnet
up here,
goes back on because there's a
and
magnet.
it doesn't even look like it's there. It is.
And you have one on the other side
Yep,
too.
I have another one on this side too. Right here.
There you go. So anything else you want to share about being profoundly deaf with bilateral cochlear implants?
I wouldn't change it for the world. God created me to be this way. I think it's amazing. I've had so many great opportunities both in the hearing world and the deaf community, and I'm so grateful that I've had this family.
So as we come to the end of our questioning, what kind of exciting news do you have coming up with the U.S. Deaf Women's National Team?
So I have been invited to play on the U.S. Deaf Women's National Team in South Korea to represent the United States in the Deaf World Cup.
Pretty awesome.
Super, super excited. I cannot wait. Hi Taylor, I just wanted to say thank you for reaching out to me about this topic. I absolutely love doing this for you. If you ever need me for a guest speaker, I love to come in for your little debate thing. I've spoken to college classes, so it wouldn't be any different, but if you ever need me, I would be happy to help. Yep.